I'd like to die that way. A lot of things can kill people, man. Bullets kill people, car accidents kill people. Look at where we live, man.
Before Dave Chappelle would drop his Netflix specials, 846, Sticks and Stones, The Bird Revelation, and more.
Have you ever had something happen that was so racist that you didn't even get mad? You were just like, God damn, that was racist. I mean, it was so blatant, you were just like, wow.
Before Dave Chappelle would walk away from his beloved sitcom, The Chappelle Show, after its third season at the height of its popularity.
Hey, Mom, your husband's clothes fit funny, girl.
Before Dave Chappelle would pad his resume with acting gigs in A Star Is Born, The Nutty Professor, Home Improvement, You've Got Mail, 200 Cigarettes, Con Air, Half Baked, and more.
You leave San Francisco like, bye, thanks for coming to San Francisco.
Now, it depends on what part of Dave Chappelle's career you first stumbled upon his work, but the man has been killing it in every appearance he's ever made, going way back to the late 80s. Now, I personally first discovered him as a kid when I bought the DVD for Half Baked, because all my friends at the time, they said I looked a whole lot like Jim Breuer. Now, if you didn't know Dave prior to The Chappelle Show, well, that's when he definitely reached household name status, and he introduced us to comedy classics like True Hollywood Stories, with everyone's personal favorite, the one about Rick James.
Remember, Rick, this song he had put out called Unity.
And this was imprinted in that black head of his for at least a week.
Interestingly enough, I found out researching this video that Chappelle, well, he had been cast to star in a feature film about Rick James's life that never ended up going into production. Now, Dave Chappelle, he needs little introduction, and in times like these where Black Lives Matter protests and the death of George Floyd have reached the boiling point, well, all I can say is Dave, he is both brave and a true genius to be able to speak out his mind and share his comedy during these times. What's going on, guys? It's your boy Michael McCrudden back at it with a brand new video. Now, I can't believe we've never actually done a Before They Were Famous on Dave Chappelle ever before. This is a first. In the past, we have done a Before They Were Gone on Charlie Murphy, if you want to check that out. And come to think of it, we've never done it Before They Were Famous on Eddie Murphy. Yeah, like there's a whole bunch of legends we've just never got done. So you guys gotta let us know who's next in the comments down below. All right, now let's get into this video. Hey, be sure to subscribe and hit that bell. Boom! Dave Chappelle was born David Khari Webber Chappelle on August 24th, 1973 in Washington, D.C. Now, both his parents were professors. His father, William, he taught at Anitich College in Yellow Springs, Ohio, and his mother, Ivona, she worked as a professor at Howard University and later at the University of Maryland. Now, she also served as a Unitarian Universalist minister. Now, his grandparents, all but one, were African American with a grandmother from Grenada, which is in the Caribbean. Well, they were all very successful. They were involved in academia and the church, and they were landowners. I think that's important to know. Now, he has a brother named William and a sister Felicia, and he met Muhammad Ali when he was only 2 years old. Now, on Instagram, he wrote, "I was 2, I don't know what was going on," but he added, "I knew exactly who he was." Now, despite sounding like he came from a super stable family, well, his parents, they split when he was 6 years old, and he began to travel between homes in Washington and Ohio. Now, he attended Duke Ellington School of the Arts in Washington, D.C., and it was here that he got his first taste of fame filming a video for AIDS awareness, where he rapped about the deadly disease.
Here it is. The disease called AIDS, so we got to keep in check. The way we behave, it hits men and women and the young ladies, rich and poor, gay or straight, and the babies.
As a teenager, he was inspired by the TV superstar at the time, Bill Cosby, and that made him want to try stand-up comedy. Now, that's a man he would later go on to discuss in his stand-up special, where he stated,
"Imagine if you found out 40 years from now that Kevin Hart raped 54 people. He'd be like, oh. The only one that would believe that would be Cat Williams. He'd be like, I knew that mother was up to something."
Now, at 14, he wasn't old enough to be in bars, so his mother, she would have to chaperone him to comedy clubs. Now, despite the fact that his mother, a woman of the church, was with him, well, that didn't stop him from touching on controversial topics. Now, with both his parents in academia, you can imagine the pressure was on him to go to school, go to college, but instead he decided to give stand-up a real go when he moved to New York City. Now, the response, it wasn't always great when he took the stage, and one night at the Apollo, well, he was actually booed off stage. But needless to say, he stuck it out and he became a club regular. He then made his feature film debut in Mel Brooks's Robin Hood Men in Tights. This was in 1993.
Hey, thanks, man. You're welcome. Hey, who are you anyway?
I think now is not the time for introductions.
Time out! Excuse me, bad guys. I am running out of air. Gotta get pumped. Okay, honkies. Time in.
He also became the youngest comedian to be featured in the HBO special Comic Relief 6. This was in 1994.
If you ever been to England, if you go through airport security, they're real tense. Everyone was real nervous because of terrorist attacks. Everybody except for me. You know why I wasn't scared? Because terrorists have never taken black hostages.
Still only 18 years old, he started getting offers to appear in TV pilots. Now, one was a Disney-produced ABC series titled Buddies, which focused on two friends living in New York City. Now, unfortunately, the series got canceled after just 4 episodes. Now, he had a huge break in 1996 when he was cast in The Nutty Professor, where he played shock comic Reggie. And when I was a kid, I didn't know that was him. I guess he was wearing some fake teeth.
Hey, look! Silence! I can't take this shit no more. Now, you done talked about me enough, boy. I try to be peaceful. But now, it's time for Reggie to karate-size your ass. Woo! Oh, yeah. Oh.
Throughout the rest of the 90s, while Dave's career continued to progress, he landed HBO comedy specials, network sitcoms, and big-budget movie roles. In 2003, then Dave, he made a deal with Comedy Central to star in his own sketch show, and by its second season, Chappelle Show, it was the highest rated in its time slot. It broke sales records, and it also created catchphrases that would become cultural phenomenons.
I'm Rick James, bitch.
I'm rich, bitch! Red Bull! It gives me wings!
Now, Dave did something not a lot of comedians on television would tackle. He was pulling out Hollywood insider scandal from behind closed doors, and he was letting the general public laugh at the ridiculousness of the Hollywood elite. Now, Dave, he broke DVD sales records with the first season of the Chappelle Show, and he sold 1.2 million in the first week alone. Now, he had finally become a household star, and there were movie deals in the works, like the biopic on Rick James I told you in the intro, and the guy had a $50 million contract with Comedy Central. So naturally, he did the next logical step. He walked away from everything. Yeah, as the story goes, well, there was a white man who laughed at one of his jokes, and it just didn't sit well for Dave.
So then when I'm on the set and we're finally taping the sketch, somebody on the set that was white laughed in such a way. I know the difference of people laughing with me and people laughing at me. And it was the first time I'd ever gotten a laugh that I was uncomfortable with. Not just uncomfortable, but like, should I fire this person?
Now, there were plenty of other things going on and lots of mounting pressure, but this is all water under the bridge these days. But back then, this was like the biggest news story of the year. Now, regardless, from there on out, well, a star had truly been born. And Dave Chappelle, he's a man who's known the world over.
We gotta find a way we can just work stuff out, talk to each other the way we should talk to each other, treat each other the way we should treat each other.
Now, if I can add something just on a personal note, I think of all the careers in the entertainment industry, well, stand-up comedy's gotta be the hardest. I mean, it's the most grueling and it's the biggest risk versus reward. Like, you can make it, you could become Jim Carrey or Eddie Murphy, but the timing, it really needs to be on your side. And for all, like, those two guys who succeeded and made it to the top, well, there's like hundreds of thousands who just didn't make it. I'm happy that, like, now YouTube and TikTok and Instagram's a thing. Because before all that, you had to go to the comedy clubs, and man, it was a really rough gig. Anyway, as for the rest of the story, well, I'm gonna wrap this one up here because this is before they're famous. Now, I told you guys that we would only be doing updates for like the next couple weeks, but then I realized we never did this one on Dave Chappelle, and I got really excited. I scripted it. It's not as long as I like to make them because we did it in a bit of a rush. We dropped 2 videos today, but hey, there it is. Enjoy it. I'll see you guys in another video. Boom!